Hello from Mexico and welcome back to our channel. So today I'm attempting to make birria from scratch, which I've never done before, even though that I have lived here in Mexico for almost 10 years now. This is a dish that I have yet to make from scratch. So today we're going to attempt to do it. I'm pretty sure I can do it. I've seen people make it. And like my suegra and my comadres and that are really good at it. So we're going to try and do it ourselves. So if you like what you're watching, don't forget to hit the thumbs up button. Don't forget to subscribe, and you can turn on the bell for notifications so that you never miss a video. With all of that being said, let's make some birria. First things first, let's go over the ingredients. So we're going to start over here. I have pepper and salt. I'm using the sal con ajo just because I want a little bit more garlic, but you can just use regular salt. Both aceite de aguacate. You can use any kind of aceite that you want. You are going to brown the meat before you make the rest of the birria. So I'm using aceite de aguacate, avocado oil, but you can use whatever kind of aceite you want, and then some apple cider vinegar. Okay, for spices, you're going to use comino or cumin, oregano, hoja de laurel or bay leaves, and then I only could find clavo entero. We don't have it like molido here, but I know a lot of people will use molido, so I'm using entero. For our veggies, I'm gonna use 5 tomatoes, I'm gonna use some garlic and then a white onion. Next thing on our ingredient list is going to be the chilies. We're gonna use chile guajillo, chile ancho, and chile pasilla. Now let's go over the meat that's going into the birria. So in this pot is a couple different things, but you're not gonna be able to see it all because I have it in the pot. It had to be rinsed off. So the first thing that we have in here is the diez mio. That is beef chuck roast. It is cut up into these pieces. You can cut it up in whatever size pieces you want. But I just had the carniceria cut it up that way. The next thing we have in here is chambarete or beef shank. And that has some bone left in it. You can, that meat I was told is optional because it adds flavor. So if you don't want to add that or you can't find it, don't worry. You're not really, it's fine. You can leave it out. The butcher also gave me, or the carniceria, shout out to the carniceria, by the way, because they're amazing. But they also gave me some extra just beef bones. And this right here is fat. So I'm adding that as well just for flavor, but know that it's not like those pieces are optional. I'm adding it for flavor. I have you guys on a little camera so that you can see this better, and I have my 2 hands. So we're gonna see how this goes. I'm gonna start by charring 5 jitomates, tomatoes, a bunch of garlic, and I initially was only going to use 1 onion. I'm going to use 2. So 2 white onions cut in half, and we're literally just charring these, getting some color on them before we blend them up into what will become the consomme. Okay, so we're getting color on our tomatoes and our onion and our garlic. Now that these are where we want them to be, I'm going to take them off of the heat, and we're going to clean our chilies so that we can roast our chilies a little bit and then blend this all together. Okay, now we're going to clean the chiles. We're going to start with our guajillo first, and we are removing the stem. And then we are, let me just move my plate because I'm going to set them all on a plate. And then we're just removing all of the seeds, just like that, so that the chili is without a stem and without seeds. So just like this. That's what you're looking for. We're going to use about 9 of the guajillo and 4 or 5 of the ancho and 3 of the pasilla. Oh, hey. Damon just woke up. Lupe's over here helping me. So next we have the chile ancho. We have all of the guajillos right here. So now we're gonna start on the chile ancho. Just so we're clear, I would use gloves if there were more of these, but because I don't have to, like, there's not very many, that's why I'm not bothering with gloves. But if you have like sensitive skin and that, then highly recommend using gloves. These don't have as many seeds as the guajillo, so they're a little bit easier. All that's left is the pasilla, and there's only 3 of these guys. So these guys are mixed. You can also cut these open with a knife. I usually just rip them because they're gonna go in a blender anyway, but we are gonna toast them in a pan for about 10 to 20 seconds. That's it. And if you're not used to it, you probably will cough or cause other people in your house to cough as well. Just be prepared for that. Okay, because I'm blending in something like this, I'm gonna have to blend my chilies and my tomatoes and that in 2 batches. But I'm gonna show you guys, I'm gonna add all of my spices and everything to this one, to the first blend, and then I'll mix it all together. But I'm gonna show you guys what I'm adding. So it is 3 to 4 tablespoons of apple cider vinegar. I'm gonna add in 3 teaspoons of comino or cumin, and measuring with my heart, guys. But you can measure with actual measuring things, like measuring cups, spoons. Oh, goodness. Again, this is why I don't make recipe videos for you guys. I'm happy to share some that I love. All right, there we go. Okay, I'm also going to add in 3 teaspoons of oregano. Because I just have cloves, like whole cloves, I'm going to put in 4 of them. But it typically calls for like 1/4 of a teaspoon to 1/2 a teaspoon of the ground cloves. And then we're also going to do 1/2 a teaspoon of ground cinnamon. So all of this is in our little blender guy. Now we're going to add some of the chilies that we toasted and also the tomatoes and onion and garlic and blend it up. Okay, to do this part, you want to be quick, so make sure that you have everything set up because you don't want to burn these. But in a dry skillet, I broke mine in half. I'm just going to put them in this. I'll get that guy, don't worry. I'm just going to put them in like this. We're just going to toast them lightly for 10 to 20 seconds, on each side. And then we're going to put them in the blender and blend them up. Okay, because we're doing this in 2 batches, we're going to start with about half of our tomato, onion, and garlic. And we're going to do about half of our chilies. And I'm, literally just going to shove these in here so that they blend up. And then I'm going to add just a little bit of water into this so that everything will blend nicely together. As a side note, we have been having to remove like probably 2 to 3 bees a day from our house right now. I'm thinking that somebody nearby has like hives. There's either a hive outside or they have the hives that you use to gather honey. Either way, we've had a lot come in. Luckily, none of us are allergic to bees, and so we're just taking them outside and letting them go, but I'm pretty sure I find 2 to 3 a day. Now that all of the salsa is blended up, we're going to start on the meat. First, we're going to give everything a little bit of a brown on each side. Then we're going to leave this in and we're going to add in our salsa and they get everything cooking. Okay, so once I started to add in like the bones and the fat and that, I realized I was not going to have enough space. So I am going to have to change out the pot on this. It's going to be fine. We're going to change out the pot on this, finish browning this, but I'm going to change out the pot and we're going to cook it the rest of the way in a different pot that I have that'll allow us to get more consomme, because I know that's going to be Fidel's thing, is the consomme. That's his favorite part. Okay, now that we have everything transferred to a much bigger pot, we're going to start adding in our salsa. Thankfully, my thing will sit like this. You can also stir with a spoon if you want. It starts out really thick, but any water that you add into the broth, you're gonna run through your strainer and through all of the chili and spice mix. Okay, the grasa floated to the top. So that's what you guys are seeing. That's this part right here. But this is all of the caldo in with the meat, or the consomme in with the meat. So now we are going to put the lid on this. We're going to stir it occasionally, but this is gonna cook for like 3 to 4 hours. My guess is because of the amount of meat that I have, it's gonna take about 4.5. But I was told that the rule of thumb is that if you test the meat with tongs or a fork and it doesn't kind of melt a little bit, or like, you know, if it's tough or it doesn't come apart that like super easy, it's not done and you have to cook it longer. So if you make this or are, you know, making meat in any kind of anything, just remember that the longer you cook the meat, the longer you kind of boil it. This is going to be kind of like a soft simmer, but the longer you cook it, the softer it will get, but you have to let it get softer. So we are going to top this off and take a little break, and I'm going to keep you guys updated throughout the cooking process. Okay, I missed the first stir because I was on a work call. But what I've done is just put a timer on my phone for every 30 minutes for the next 4 hours. And so each time the timer comes down, or sorry, goes off, I'm just coming down and stirring this up and then putting the lid back on. So every 30 minutes, I'm stirring it and putting the lid back on. I'm also checking the moisture or the water level. You can add in more water. Just remember that you need to test or taste the caldo or the consomme, sorry, to make sure that like you have enough salt and everything once you add water, because as you add water, you're going to dilute your broth. So I'm going to put the lid back on and I'll check in another 30 minutes. It's been 30 minutes, so we're back to stir. And at this point, probably going to add some water to it after I get all of this stuff around the edges back into the soup. It's been another 30 minutes, so we're here to stir. And I checked my other timer about halfway through the cooking time, so we're getting there. It's been 30 minutes again, so now we're just giving it a quick stir, checking the water line, and we're gonna let it cook some more. Because this is such a deep pot, I'm not gonna add any more water. I'm gonna leave this amount of consomme in it because I think it's a good amount of consomme, but we'll see what Fidel and Diego say. In giving another stir. I think that it's about ready. I think maybe another half an hour and we'll be good. I forgot to tell you to put in the hoja de laurel, so I apologize for that. But you have to put in the hoja de laurel. And I've had to add some salt, obviously, because I've been adding water to it. But let me try and find, like, I don't test the beef shank. I test the diezmillo or the chuck roast part, right? Because it doesn't have as much fat on it, or it doesn't have like fat on it. And so it takes a little bit longer to get real tender. But I'm going to kind of show you. So we're looking for it to do that, but I want it to do that a little bit more. The longer you cook it, the more it'll do that. So it's almost there. I think only about a half an hour, but we're going to check it in 30 minutes and see. And if not, then we'll give it probably another hour. But we are on 4 hours of cooking. So I was right. I think because the amount of meat that I used is why. But see, like the oh my gosh, beef shank, that's what this piece is, because it has a bone attached to it. These pieces are already very, very tender, falling apart. So yeah, almost there. Okay, this should be our last stir. We're gonna check the meat before I turn the pan off. And I don't check the shank, like I said, I check the Dios mío. There we go. That's exactly what we're looking for, guys. Just want it to squish and be nice and tender. I lost it. Just squish a different piece. Just like that. That's what we want. So now I'm gonna turn this off until we're ready to have dinner. And that, which it'll stay on the stove. But that's what we're looking for. We want it to fall apart. Okay, this is all done and Fidel got home. So I'm gonna have him do a taste test for you guys out of this bowl right here. All of this at the top is the fat, so you can scoop that out. All right, Fidel is back from work, so he's gonna give us a taste test. Tell us how we did. Making birria for the first time.
Está muy buena, ¿eh?
¿Sí?
Sí.
¿Sí te gustó?
¿Cuánto falta su cebolla y su...
Cilantro.
Ajá, cilantro.
Diego is also going to do a taste test and let us know what he thinks.
It's really good.
Yeah, you like
Yeah,
it?
I like it.
Perfect. All right, now I'm gonna get everybody's plates dished up. Before I dish everybody's plates up, Dominic would like to show you guys what he got today. Tell us about it.
Capulín.
Capulines?
Dulces.
Donces? Where'd you pick them from?
From the tree from the house site.
The tree right
There's
outside.
2 trees of capulín
Yeah?
stickers.
That's a lot. You got a lot.
My dad.
Your dad? I think it's safe to say that both of these guys also like it. All right, it's the next day, and we are taking what's left of the birria down to the house sites. The workers can have it for lunch. So the boys and I are headed down there right now. We're going to take you with us. So let's go.
Ah. ¿No quieren comer, niños?
Vamos a comer, por favor. Sí.
La birria estuvo muy buena, muy sabrosa.
Gracias. Gracias a usted.
Muy deliciosa.
Muchas gracias.
Muy rica su birria. Muchísimas gracias.
Gracias. Fidel,
Muy rica, la verdad.
¿cuántos platos tú comer, Fidel?
Más como 3.
Todos es como 3 o 4 platos, ¿no?
Unos platos, un vaso.
No, sí, es vaso.
Es un litro.
Es un litro. Entonces 3 litros de birria, Fidel.